Samurai Talk will be debating with Papatones. Sensei, nice of you to come back.
Always a pleasure to debate with you.
My brother,
always a pleasure.
Sparring partner.
And you're my newest and best Facebook friend. You just got my Texas office on your messenger.
I'm honored. You're a big guy like here. On Apple Time magazine with Motoya, Toshio Motoya. What kind of guy is he?
Motoya-san is a quintessential conservative opinion leader here in Tokyo.
He was not afraid of the Chinese.
A lot of enemies too. In fact, since I've become very trusted in the Appa family, you wouldn't believe, I think I've lost 5 Facebook friends that were Chinese. Some Chinese don't like him.
Some Chinese don't like him.
Yeah, but I've still got thousands of Facebook friends, and many of them are still Chinese, but still Chinese have been a little bit inflamed by some of the things he said, some of the things he's done, and
that might be part of the plot to increase sales volume.
It's been successful.
It's
been very, very, very successful. His revenues have gone way up. His expansion plans are...
Because of it or despite it?
Both. I think both.
You know, he's a big guy, 2 guys.
Very, very, very smart guy, very sensitive guy. But I sense that he commands a great deal of respect on the part of his staff, you know.
And
when he gives an order, boom.
And he gives you a lot of credit for being a champion debater. You won it when you were 14. What was it like to be the youngest champion debater?
Well, I was the youngest championship debater, and I was also perhaps the most aggressive championship debater. So I think that it was a dual thing. We had a series of schools. Some of them were private and very, very, very wealthy. Mine was a very outstanding public school. But the private schools were unbelievable, Mitch. They had sons of judges who would come home and they would discuss their issues of the day with their fathers, who were handing down the judgments of those issues of the day. So they had a tremendous head start, and yet as a freshman, I competed successfully with guys like that who were juniors and seniors. So
what was the proposition of the debate when you 14, to the best of your recollection?
Well, I think you and I discussed this at the FCCJ. Do you remember what I told you at the Foreign Correspondence Club?
Yeah, but very complicated issue.
It was the issue about whether America should abolish the draft and replace it with a volunteer army. Actually, the debate proposition per se was, should the United States abolish the draft?
You won it because you stood on the affirmative side, meaning the
affirmative
climate, you're fighting in the favorable climate.
That's right.
Or the light, wind aided.
That's right, that's right. Generally speaking, in order to win, you had to win the affirmative and you had to win the negative, okay? And so the affirmative was my strength, and I was advocating, you really need to get rid of that draft because all of the rich kids in the middle class were escaping it. All of the wealthy kids, were escaping it, and only the poor kids were getting drafted and being sent to Vietnam. So that was one of my major propositions. You're going to have 2 Americas if you stay with this draft. You've got to have a volunteer army. You've got to raise the skills. You've got to raise the wages and salaries. You've got to spike the benefits. And that way you're going to attract the best and the brightest middle-class kids. You're going to make it possible for them to interact with the upper class, and you're going to give the lower-class kids a real advantage if they enlist.
May I interpret it this way, Nick? The image of the average American, if any, they have of the debaters. You must be brilliant. You must be rich. Am I far wrong?
Yeah, that's the image. That's the image.
It's brilliant, rich, well-heeled.
It's sort of like a yes and no. Amongst the politicians of today, Ted Cruz represents the quintessential debater.
I thought he might make it big.
And
next time around, you and I can twist his arms so we can bring them back to Japan.
I want to put Cruz in the crossfire.
Oh, really?
To the left, Mishihiro Matsumoto.
Oh, good.
To the right, J. Nicholas Papatones. And in the crossfire...
Crossfire again! Yeah, that excites me.
That's
Makes
right.
my blood boil.
That's right. But anyhow, Cruz came from a poor family.
Oh, really?
He went to Yale, and Yale stands out as a school that if you have the grades, if you have the test scores, if you don't have the money, don't worry, they're going to pay for you. So
how did he develop class, if you will, if he comes from the bad background, bad environment?
No, you're misunderstanding. He doesn't come from a bad background. He just doesn't come from a rich background. You know, he comes from a background where his dad is a priest for a while. He separated from Cruz's mom, and then they got back together.
He had a better rapport in class than Rubio.
Marco Rubio came from a very poor family.
Oh, I see.
His mother was a bartender. His father, I think, was a bartender. Rubio, I think, is a better natural debater than Cruz. But that's just my opinion. Cruz is the quintessential debater. Cruz is the epitome of debate.
Okay, Donald Trump isn't a quintessential debater.
You like Donald Trump. You like Donald Trump.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, just playing games. I played the devil's advocate previously, but he had a problem of his own. You know, he fired Comey.
Matsumoto-san, I was very shocked to learn yesterday that America is now sneezing about obstruction of justice, but Japan may be in for a pandemic on the same issue because in front of you there's a 28-year-old journalist by the name of Shiori, and she is charging a guy by the name of Yamaguchi with rape. And there's evidence of a cover-up because there was a prosecution that was supposed to happen. She flew back to Japan from Germany, and suddenly the police agency tells her, "Gomenasai, somebody from the government told us, drop the case." Drop the case. And so now America, which is struggling to claim obstruction of justice against Donald Trump. Some Japanese are saying there's obstruction of justice with Shiori and Yamaguchi. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to tell you that I didn't even know anything about this until yesterday. And the reason I found out yesterday is because I was preparing for this discussion and wondering what is Mitch going to be hitting me with today? Is he going to be talking Trump? Is he going to be talking economy, Korea, China? I've spoken many places in Japan about all these things. But what is it that Mitch
一体
could hit me
道
with
がこういう私
that
の
I
弱
would
い
be
とこ
a
突っ込
total
んでくるんじゃ
stranger
ないかな
about.
と私は全く無知な門外漢ですけれども
So I
そこで
researched
調べ
the
て
internet.
リサーチをしたインターネットでそれで
And one of the
信号を初め
friends
て知
of
って
one of my
友
Facebook
達
friends
がですね
had
お
this
前これを
article
知ってるかこの記事を読んだかということを聞いて
with
は
a
っと
very
気がつ
nasty
いたん
word,
です
an
ね
F word on his
嫌
timeline, and I
な
got very
嫌な言
angry
葉がありましたあ
seeing
そん
that
な
F
ことだったの
word
かというこ
because I don't
と
like
で
Americans in
ア
Japan
メ
to
リカと
use
日
vulgar
本がです
language.
ね
I
お互い
think
にこうい
Americans can
う
get their
恥ず
point
かしい言葉が
across
出てきたら
without using
困
that
るわ
F
けです
word, but
ね
he's a very liberal Democrat, and he
ま
had the
あ
article, Is
結
Japan's
局
top
日本
politician
が
behind
政
a
治家
shameful
の
rape
裏
cover-up?
に非常に恥ずかしいレイプ事件もあるということがこういう問題が出るかなというわけで
So I read the
ちょっと心
article,
配してまあ一応この目を通してみたんです
and I posted the
が
article.
その後でこういうことがありましたね書いてあります
And supposedly the guy who committed the bad act is
それがもう
a very good friend of
これ
Prime
は
Minister Abe's.
安倍首相と非常に仲の良い記者であったということで驚きであったんですが
At least that's what the story said, and I looked at the Facebook page of this
Facebook でこ
guy.
れを見て本当
And
に
what
レイ
does
プ
it
があ
have?
った
Two
の
big
かどう
pictures
か
of
2つの写真
Prime
が載って
Minister
いる
Abe.
安倍首相と
So obviously
で
there's a
この2
connection
人が
there.
出て間違いなく2人は関係が密であるということを発見したわけですが
And I was so lucky to run across this
まあこれ
because
を知って帰
I
って
thought
私
you
は
would be
勉強だった
trying to
多分このディベートですね
trick
松
me
本氏
into
ここに
talking
ね
about something I didn't know
なんか
about.
知らないことで
But I
無
was
知を
so
さらけ出
pleased to
して
find
やっ
out
て
you
くる
didn't
んじ
know
ゃな
about
い
it
かな
either.
と思ってきたんだけど知らなかったけどほっと
So
し
I'm
た
a
ん
very
だ
happy man right
ま
now,
あ
but let's
いや
talk about it
戦わ
a
なか
little.
ったと
Very
突っ
happy.
込んでこなかったということでほっとしているというような状況ですけどね
There's a guy named Mr. Fix-It.
それか
That's
ら
his
その
nickname.
問題解決するってミスターフィックスっていう
His
ね
name is spokesman for the cabinet, Yoshihide
菅義
Suga.
偉という人がねもみ消しの名人であるということが出てきましたね
And according to
何
this
か
article, he's a very,
こ
very
の記事によ
talented
る
guy.
と非常に優秀な男であるんですけ
He's
ど
the
も
type of guy that
それ
the
が
press secretary for Donald
要す
Trump,
るにドナルド・トランプ
Sean
の
Spicer, quote, would like to be.
やっぱりこれよく似たようなアメリカのトランプの中でその公民のような問題が起こっている
And
時
Steve
に
Bannon,
ですね
who's
スティーブ
an
バンノン
advisor
が
that's on the other side, to the maybe to the right,
これは右によりの人
is
だったと思うんです
almost
よね
as good as Mr. Fix-It.
これ
Mr.
は
Fix-It has a lot of respect as
フィク
being
サ
a
ーという
cool
の
but
は
a
かえっ
dangerous
てですね
character.
非常に
And the question is,
危
did
険だけれ
Mr.
ども非常
Fix-It
に冷静な人
Fix
で
it
問題をうま
for
く解消してくれるというわけでこの山口事件にもですねそれうまくなかったような形に収めてしまうというような
And if
名
Mr.
手で
Fix
す
It
ね
fixed it, was
これ
it
はやっ
on
ぱりこ
order
の
from Prime Minister
多
Abe?
分
That's the question.
問題はですねこれ忖度しなきゃいけない問題ですけども
That's the
やはり
question.
安倍さんがですねお前が何とかしてくれないかというようなことを言ったかどうかというのが、鍵を握っているという状況ですね
Yamaguchi is famous
山口はそれだけ
for writing several
要する
books
にいろんな本も書いて著名人です
saying
ね
that the comfort women
それで従軍ヤフのと言われているような女性ですね
were not
Wow.
abused by Japanese soldiers in Korea, but they were very, very well paid
非常にお金
professionals.
持ちのプロフェッショナルの女性であったから従軍違反どころじゃなくてプロの慰安婦であるという
So although
ような
I'm just
ことを言
beginning
って
to
います
research
から
this,
これは私はこれから
I think this
調査
is
していかなきゃいけないですけどね
this has made him a favorite
これ
of
が
Prime Minister
ま
Abe,
あ安倍さん
according
にして
to
も
what I'm
よく言っ
reading.
てくれたとにっこりしてるに違いないというの関係ですね
And I wouldn't be surprised
で
if
だからこの問題が
Yamaguchi were also
山口が
to some common people that we have as
やっぱり
well,
我々
such
の
as
知ってる
Motoya-san.
元谷さんとどっかつながってるかもしれないというけど微
Because
妙
there
な
are
気持ちにな
people
って
in
るんですけどね
Motoya's
で元谷をの取り巻き連中という
closely knit
の
inner
は
circle
彼の中でものすごく
that are
中部
actually
内部が
in
し
the
っかり
defensive
している
support
という
group
形で
for Noriyuki
山
Yamaguchi.
口のでがっちりと固めてねボロが出ないような形するほど結束が 感じられるからまずないだろうと思ってるんですけどね。
Now that gets me back to a point.
そこでさっき松本さんが言われたような話に戻りますけれども、安倍の顔上ちょっと見てみましたら、なんか
He looks so tired, he looks so bewildered because of this negative press. And yet other politicians, look at Putin, all the bad stuff being said about Putin. Look at Trump, all the bad stuff being said about Trump. And yet these guys look as if they love the negative publicity. They look as if they are really reveling on that negative publicity. So I think Japan needs debate.
だからそこでね、時間が来ましたけども、日本人が必要なのは真相を追求するとディベートが必要であるということだけ申し上げたいと思います。
And one of the reasons I admire you, my friend, is you're the grandfather of debate in Japan.
日本のグルですね。
And maybe I'm the rising sun. So let's work together.
彼はこれ昇りつつある太陽。私はもうこの、老人ってのおかしいな、日本のグルーですね。そういう気持ちで仲良くできればいいと思います。どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Michihiro Matsumoto, known as Channel Tokyo, Japan.
J. Nicholas Papatones, KKWWB, Japan. Thank you.